These are freaking potlucks. They're potlucks every middle of the day. Lunch each day
yeah,
is at a potluck.
In the weekend. In the one weekend.
Over the course of the weekend.
Lunch each day is at somebody's home.
I can't see what
I know that we do, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's more of a camp. The camp, because everybody registers, and then, not everybody has to go to the potluck, but you're welcome to go.
Is it like for a block of time that you don't have other events going on?
Yeah.
Where everyone goes over
Yeah, I mean, it's like a
together?
camp weekend where, you know, you have 1 session, 2 sessions, lunch break.
And, and there's not another session running for you.
Right, okay. Give them something to
Oh,
Hey,
great.
other observations.
And it's on site?
Yes. Well, the potlucks are off-site, but they're
Other folks.
We had a dance weekend that got mentioned in California that's a gender-free dance weekend, but the thing that was really awesome was it was a residential dance weekend that had lots of young people, so there was lots of energy, and they were very inclusive and welcoming, and there were people coming from all up and down the West Coast as well as from the East Coast, so you had a variety of people that were all mixing together in an inclusive, open environment with lots of energy.
Cool. So it wasn't like there was a home core that was welcoming some outsiders.
Yeah.
It really felt like people were coming together. It's a very different feeling.
Surely it's not with a conference series in Amherst that makes a conscious effort both to be welcoming to newcomers and to satisfy their experienced dancers. So, first half of the dance, easier dances, more instruction, children as young as 8 welcome. Then the break. Children under 12 encouraged to get off the floor, if I have that right. After the break, faster pace of instruction, more challenging dances. So both constituencies get satisfied and the youth don't get turned off. They get to grow up confident.
And then have something to aspire to. Kind of neat, like, oh, I'm going to be 13 next year or whatever.
Another thing that we talked about was both of us have realized the importance of having a committee and not just a single person or duo running things, that it helps draw more people in, and it also spreads the jobs out on the dance floor, so you have particular committee members who can welcome and partner with new dancers, so they're not partnering with each other and messing things up, and just keep an eye on the hall better.
Okay.
And avoid burnout.
Right. Yeah.
Avoid burnout.
So Susan was describing an ECD in the Greenfield area that apparently has to compete with lots of other advancing opportunities. And she was describing some new activities that they're trying to experiment with to differentiate their dance from those other ECDs. And examples are holiday type events around like May and the holidays, and English and American. So just some things that kind of differentiate their dance from others. And she mentioned one thing specifically that really appealed to me, and this is from an experience or from a very active, successful, ongoing concert dance series where there's lots of community already in place. And that is that there's opportunities in between the dances for a little bit of chit-chat before the dance starts again, so you're not, talking over the caller as they start to call the next dance, but it just recognizes that people are there not only to dance, but to just have a little bit of time to socialize, even between dances.
I could build on that with what Jens had mentioned. Just the importance of a dance that really makes it great is when a dance consciously makes an effort to welcome the outfit. So we talked about people coming together, but you have a core group, and then talk to them during the break, invite them to things that you do afterward, ask them to dance, notice when. Take notice that people are there.
Awareness and an active outreach.
Say goodbye to them by name when they walk out the door.
And I had added to that when you walk into a dance with a friendly environment, whether you're a dancer or a caller. From my own experience, you just notice it. You walk in there and you get it. You just tell.
Ron said there were two things you noticed right away: friendliness and the energy, which was.
Jess told me about a blues dance that's very welcoming and safe, and she mentioned how the things, if you feel unsafe or threatened or uncomfortable, particularly, talk to these people, but that memo just kept getting repeated. You'd hear it every day, multiple times, such that it wasn't about, I think, it's not about the individual message, it's, oh, this whole community cares about this. They care about my comfort.
Yeah. Some folks who haven't, yeah.
We've talked also about the welcoming community and not feeling like they're cliques, so not having all of your experienced dancers constantly dancing with the same people and feeling like you can walk in and dance with anyone. As a caller, you don't have to beg your more experienced dancers or people who have been dancing all night to ask people on the sidelines. And we started talking about ways to maybe further that cause.
Help shape things that direction.
And what ideas did you
We'll be getting to the house. We're just reporting back. Hey, this is a really great thing. Sorry to stop you, but we're gonna.
So so our group, we've talked about how wanting both beginners and experienced dancers to be happy, and that one way is to have the first half of the dance focused a little bit more on the beginners and easier dancers, and then the second half, which I think was mentioned before. But then having also solid dance music that you can hear the beat and like danceable solid music. And then a caller who doesn't talk too much.
Funny.
Really?
Like talks about...
Where are you going to find one of those?
Okay, so anyway, that was a couple of things. And Linda was my partner.
Friendliness again and inclusion, but Nancy said that the dance she went to not long ago, it was the best experience she had in 15 years. She walked in, people asked her to dance, and people asked her if she had a gender role preference. So,
Amherst. The best Wednesday night in 15 years that I've ever been to. I'm just telling you.
So, allowing for that and rather than making assumptions.
So those, the Amherst dance, just regularly, because it draws a lot from the local colleges, including Hampshire and Smith, has probably 25%, like 15 to 25% regular role swapping. It's not a gender-free dance. Just for background info.
I just thought it was so polite. There was a politeness.
Is there any group that hasn't reported back at this point? It's you guys.
So we touched on a lot of the same things that you guys have brought up. One of the things that I found very interesting, David was talking about a dance that he went to that he really enjoyed that did not have a beginner's lesson. It was a contra dance. And it was interesting because one of the local dancers that we're doing, we wanted to have a beginner's lesson and we haven't. And so that was
It can cut both ways.
Yeah.
So, no,
I left something out. They seek talent for their weekend that want to mingle with the dancers.
Good
and
campers.
who are
Staff that who are good campers.
Yeah, so that's important.
Yep.
And then there's nobody from Atlanta, Georgia here, is there? Okay, I heard about a really great, well, if they were here, they could speak for themselves. But they have a really great child care collective thing going on to keep dancers that are 30 to 45 and have kids and want to dance and can't.
Wow.
So if you know people from Atlanta, you can ask them. I think that's Pepper and the Timmers. I don't know.
I saw the thread about that.
Yeah. Oh, but they didn't comment yet. I tagged them, so
terrific site.
Actually, there's much time to do that.
You got any? So our thought was, just so you have the shape of where we're aiming, thought was we try and draw from some overarching themes. Not that we're going to say, oh, here's the magic formula. Just going to say, what are the things we pull out of it? And then we're going to shift to a little bit more concrete about thinking about your specific dance series or whatever the events are that you're involved in or most interested in, and think a little more about the how. But let's talk about the themes first. Then, what are recurring themes when we look at this?
People who come in the door feel cared for. That's a recurring theme from community cares for, welcoming, inclusive, friendly.
Okay. What other themes?
The safety goes into that from the top.
Where is it? Where's my hand?
Very top. Safety.
Where?
See, standard safety.
Second line.
Second line.
Sounds like.
Here. Yes.
The marker was obscuring it from your vision.
True.
Outreach.
Well, yeah.
That might be another thing.
Not just safety, but communicating if we have a safety.
Yeah. Sort of creating the social time, being conscious of that element of the dance. This is also part of it.
Is there space for themes that aren't up there that we've been thinking about?
Speak now.
Encouraging the idea that everybody is always learning. And nobody's ever finished. Like, nobody's a complete dancer.
You're the best dancer, you don't have to learn anything
Yeah.
anymore. You're done.
Yeah, I'm done. I've been dancing
I don't know
months
how to make
now.
that happen. Don't know how to make that happen, but.
We callers do it by messing up occasionally.
What?
We callers do it by messing up occasionally, showing it's okay. That's the only reason we mess up.
Well, we focused a lot
Part
on
of our
very
business.
standard social interaction, but for some of you, are there other themes here about the committee or how you structure your dance that you're like, yeah, that's really speaking to me right now? And some of you mentioned it.
Well, it's talking about, the booking aspects of it, booking the caller, booking the dance, booking the bands and everything
It
like
helps
that.
you shape your vision.
Part of it, as a booker, you have two options. You can always book amazing talent, or you can support your local community and have your local bands, and they might not be awesome.
And that's balance.
But you're supporting them, so what are you going to do? Tell them, listen, guys, you stink, get better. You can't do
Or
that.
you're giving
so-
them an opportunity to
Yeah.
get better,
Yeah.
a motivation to.
Yeah.
But there's also a financial aspect to it. You
Yeah.
can book the awesome band, but if you can't afford it, you're going to run your dance into the ground.
David?
Unless they bring it.
Yeah, we've had to shift locally from two long-established dance series that were owned by the band. And both of those bands last year announced that they were stopping. They were happy to play, but they were no longer going to run the dance. And it was about 6 months' notice, and fortunately people stepped forward and decided they wanted a mix of imported talent and local. And so for the first many dances, they were bringing in a hot caller and a hot band on one night, and a local caller and a local band on the other, and then realized, there may be a problem with this. And so what they're working more now to do is to pair a really well-known caller sometimes with a local band, or a local caller with a hot touring band. The idea being to get people to come two nights a month, there's going to be a good dance there, regardless. And not to say, oh, this is the big thing, we'll come that night, and we can skip this one. And it's required a bit of shifting, but that's the vision that they're working on now.
So, just in shifting mode. We've been in a big group mode for a while, like we've overstepped. But that's cool. We want to get back into small groups so there's lots of participation and conversation. Stand up. Wander around the room. I'm not going to tell you what to do yet. Just wander around the room. Get a good stretch. And when you found two other people that you haven't had a conversation with yet,
Great, look at this.
And you guys, you know each other?
Why should we know each
we
other?
don't add up to three, it's just add
Oh, I
up.
have no problem. Good, all right. Well, oh, perfect. Yeah, I did. And what is this little device? Oh, Scott, sorry. Well, let's just... Scott, perhaps you need that. Yeah. Oh. The little, yeah.
Yes. So this is, first of all, you know each other's names? Okay.
I think we're like.
Cool. So the idea here is that we're taking turns. This is, oh yeah, and each of you will have a chance to talk about your current dance series or event that you're sort of most invested in and feel like you have some influence on. And what are the aspects of that, with some of this in mind, but with other things in mind too, are the things that you love and you really want to keep and preserve. And then what are some of the things about that event that, gee, it would be nice if we were a little more welcoming, or gee, it would be nice if the hotshot dancers weren't X, or we'd love to figure out a way to make the perfect mix of talent. And the other two people are listening, offering some ideas, and helping the person who's talking maybe not get caught in a rut about the problems that they're dancing, and remember just all the good things that are happening. And we have 9 minutes allocated for this, which gives you each kind of 3, so we'll give you a heads up in between.
So if you do want to talk about something that you see as something you want to change, that it's gnarly or it's a problem or it's just not right, instead of thinking of it as, and I really want to talk to you about it and vent, think about it as, here it is, poof, what do you think?
What's our opportunity?
And then sit back.
Go.
Once the big group gets going, just wants to keep going. You got the right key.
I'm not sure that there's a magic way of doing that, but it's interesting that
Some people that have
That's why I was trying to find maybe we
time to get all organized and
David Cannon was like, and they did like one dance. You know, they did like, you know, an evening dance. One Thursday. David said, I would like the 45th anniversary this weekend or whatever.
that is actually
The big thing is obviously, you know, we're all
You're a third of the way. Well, more than
but part of that is really set up expectations of where you want you can bring those issues.
It can be all right. It's like Two-thirds.
Being welcoming, getting good talent.
What is your thing that you want to give to the group?
Most people think they're considered
Then you're 30 seconds. Either our conversation starter, maybe something that one of those weeks that customer attention, like two on that. If not, talk about whatever we want. And again, framing it. We're all about conversation.
Oh, yeah.
People are earnest.
And they're like,
Tell your story when stuff comes out.
there's someone that
You're going to give her some emotional content.
President of the
either way, pleading from wherever, I know then it's okay. And like there's an older
Acquired by default.
from whatever role, like, no matter what it is, but like some of the rangers are, like, if I'm dancing with a dancer who's younger, they tend to like think everything I say, like, oh yeah, I trust that, and like then our dancers are kind of and you could have like, no, and I say, hey, I don't know, I want to be a little higher, like, why are you looking better, like, and I think they're like, oh no, I've been doing this forever, and like, great, and they're like, no, it's not great, so I'm like, yeah, you both all the want to, yeah, but I was like, no, we're doing it right, yeah. Like, I'm more time, I'll bring it down, I'll get it.
Right now, we have
Please stay in your group. You get an extra minute and a half, hang on, to decide among the three of you what your 30-second key stuff that you want to deliver to the big group.
You said
And who's
30
going to say
seconds
it?
or 3 seconds?
30. No, 3. No.
You get 3 seconds.
So figure out what is sort of the concise. It might be 2 themes or it might be 1 theme, but something that one person can say fairly concisely, so we can go through it, and then we'll have a little more small group time at the end. So figure out what's your mission statement.
I think it is a lot. Good idea. Maybe less home and everybody thinks it is.
But like the welcome email,
I like what it's like.
And I have to
A lot of things.
The one thing that we should recommend.
One thing, 30 seconds. Okay, in reverse alphabetical order. Who's up first? Just start.
Yeah,
Just start.
your group, come up.
Please give them their attention. They've worked on this speech for a while, so.
Our focus was on how to get new dancers to stay. And so, and we came up with a few ideas. One was to have an email list, which most people do, but send a welcoming email right away. To have a flyer that gives them the local dances in the area, even if it's not your dance, so that they say, I want to dance next week, and I love this, and they don't have to wait a month or whatever.
And they don't have to pick up 5 flyers.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool idea to just, and then to make sure that the committee learns the new dancers' names. So you wave to them as they're leaving, or you, and other things that were said with that.
Cool.
And then I guess the other thing is that there is a dance that I run, which is called the pie dance, and we do sell slices of pie as a way to make enough extra money to pay our bands and callers. Yeah. And since we've been making pie, we have made enough money to pay our callers and bands every month, and raise $1,000 to buy new sound.
Make a pie.
Are you affiliated with CDSS?
No.
Okay. They're a good resource, especially for developing if you need to get loans for equipment and stuff. That's how Emmer started.
And pipe plates.
And
It's like Morris bells, you know.
And we just got $1 million donation.
No kidding. Wow.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You guys.
Liability insurance.
So we had a good conversation around striking a balance between keeping an existing dance crowd and community happy, and in 2 of our cases that was older dancers that were to dance, and still attracting younger, newer dancers that might not be coming, and keeping them happy as well, and different ideas for kind of striking that balance. One of the ideas that came up that I love, thanks to Mike, is asking the dancers, poll them, and having some different ways about going around at the dance with an easy-to-fill-out poll and get some feedback from them on some of the ideas that you have, and see what would feel acceptable, where is it an uncomfortable stretch for them, and where does it seem okay to them.
Cool.
We need binoculars.
Well, I see my glasses. Don't worry. I'm gonna take a picture of these. So you're welcome to come up.
You know what? We should probably have if you want to do an email, if you want to get something back from this.
Sam, how about your group?
Figure out name and email.
We had
Legibly.
a lot of discussion about the power of personal connections and networking. Both from the how do we welcome dancers? How do we change the community to be more welcoming to dancers? Oh, we have a committee of 6. We as the committee are asking newcomers with you to dance. Maybe we should be turning down invitations from experienced dancers and encouraging them to do the same to build the awareness of what we're doing. Similar sorts of things in talent booking and development, enlisting the aid of your callers, your musicians, toward the common goal. But enlist more people.
Yeah, enlist more people. That's not a bad thing.
But with personal connection.
Right.
Yeah. We talked about peer encouragement too, especially younger folks more likely to come with friends.
Sure.
So we covered a couple different things, but basically it boils down to how, as a committee, to create dances that have legacy and longevity, and how to encourage new dances that fill a particular niche. And we had 3 very different dances that we were talking about, but we talked about the particulars as committee members and how you make decisions.
Cool. I'm not clear on where the next group is. Yes? I had that impression too.
So
yeah.
maybe we 3 are the next.
I think actually Lynn is next.
Lynn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We talked about 2 issues, but one of them was people who've been involved with the community for a number of years and start to feel very unappreciated for what they're contributing.
Rose one idea about how to do that. I'm so much appreciate it.
Yeah. Figure out how to.
I know, thank you. Go, what's Rose one idea?
Yeah.
That was the last topic we talked about.
Right. Okay, one more group.
Okay.
We talked about 3 different dance series with what initially presented as 3 pretty different problems, but Ron identified our theme as wanting to raise the level of all of our dancers.
Yeah. So here's our gimmick. We're almost out of time, but actually it's amazing how much can happen in 2 minutes. And in your group that you're still with, any of these themes that came up, any unfinished business you have, go for it and then take the conversation out the door. These sessions are about conversation, meeting people with interesting ideas. Talk now, and we'll see you on the dance floor.
Or if one of these other groups has something, like we didn't get to hear what your ideas were, if you're like, I'd like to know what you guys came up with,
Yeah.
talk to them.
Cross-pollinate.
Cross-pollinate. Go, quick, 2 minutes.
Yeah. Like no time at all, but it gets them chatting about it.
You don't have to.
We're gonna have to mentally contend with it.
I mean, they would be like, oh yeah,
I do, but there's a big button.
I did that in California, so what's useful for me about that is it's now going to be, I'm not the person for real English dancers because I don't teach it the way they want it.
I have to be like really open for like both sides. So we work
And I had a rockin' band, and that's what did it.
when you come, you're relearning for me, but also sometimes.
Ooh, I'd love to.
I don't need to be asked.
People will go out and share what they're doing.
It's like, you know, the polls, like, why are the polls showing this much when you get out the polling booth?
Hold on, I'm going to email myself. Answers, what are we, oh boy, that's
We have to be careful of the negativity. Yeah, but we don't talk about it. It isn't a negative thing. Why are we talking about it?
and we're talking about it.
Right.
Thank you for doing this, Scott. And Ford, what are we not talking about?
It's just courtesy to kind of clear the room. The next group will be coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah, well. Can be.